diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Joshua Onujiogu, who's a defensive end linebacker out of Framingham State University. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Cool. It's definitely an interesting, time right now. A lot going on for people. Your situation is probably a little different because you're likely going to be, attending school again this upcoming fall.
Right.
But I do want to get to know you a little bit more. I mean, you are one of these players that I feel like people really need to get to know. So why don't you go ahead, man? Just give me like a brief summary of your career so far, if you don't mind.
Well, I went to Framingham State University. I started all 3 years. I still have a year of eligibility. That's why I said three. I came from a small town in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's a small town in the Cape. I played basketball. I ran track, and I really built a love for sports in general.
Gotcha. So, I mean, obviously, since being at Framingham State, I mean, you've had a pretty decent career so far. I know that you were named first team all conference twice. 2018, I think, was a down year for you, but I mean, coming into the 2020 season, you were actually named preseason All American. And it had a lot of potential, moving forward. And people were really getting to know who you are. And then boop, like COVID hits.
Yeah.
So walk me through just that whole, I don't know, that whole thing for you. I mean, obviously getting that call, hearing that, the schedule has gone kaput because of COVID-19. Um, how's that working for you? I mean, are you trying to make the most of your time right now?
Absolutely. I'm trying to make the most of the COVID, but I wouldn't say that it was the worst thing for me. I definitely was upset that I wasn't able to participate in my last season of football and get that experience. But it gave me a lot of time to train and fix what technically that I wasn't perfect with. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't call it my worst year. I think it's a rebuilding year for me and my team. Um, but no, I definitely think that it benefited me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys that I talk to that are in your situation, again, it's small schooler, with everything being canceled. I mean, you figure, everybody in the NCAA was able to, go back to school, if they so desired, because of the pandemic, which I think it would be obviously, to your benefit to do that. But I think right now, I mean, you're getting to that point where more people are going to end up knowing who you are. Talk to me a little bit about you as a player, man. What do you believe is like the best thing that you bring to the table as an athlete, and just what kind of a player are you out there on the field?
Well, I think the best trait of me as a football player is my motor. I've always been able to go forever. Like I can run miles right now if I wanted to, but it's just my relentless effort to the ball. My I know where the ball is at all times when I'm playing. I just have a very good sense of ball awareness. I've also been a captain for 3 years being there. I'm a big team player. I make sure that my defense and my offense are on the same page so we can win this game and be great. Uh, but yeah, I really think that like I keep it simple. It's just I'm able to go for so long. My body is just it's like that.
So, I mean, how long have you been a captain? Were you a captain like for a couple years now?
So I started since I was a freshman, and then they brought me up as captain sophomore year.
Great. So, Is there maybe a player in the league that you compare yourself or model your game after, or somebody that you look up to?
So I understand that my family calls me a tweener. So edge rusher and an outside linebacker. So I have two players in the league that I kind of like I look up to. One is Darius Leonard. He's on the Colts. He's a linebacker. He's I think a three-time Pro Bowler. His motor and his relentless effort to the ball is clearly seen in every game. Is just he can step up on the line and get past the big offensive lineman to get the sack, or he can drop back and get an interception for his team. Another player would be Khalil Mack, is that compact edge rusher that can control these big offensive linemen every play, and especially his motor. He can go all game, and that's when you start seeing the sacks towards the third quarter or the fourth quarter because you wore out your opponent. And I think I definitely take those traits from them.
I mean, definitely Khalil Mack even more so. I mean, you are somewhat of a tweener, like you said. I mean, I have you in my notes, 6'3", 254 pounds. Probably playing an edge rusher there at Framingham State. But I mean, as you project yourself to the pros, I would probably put you, if you don't mind me saying, maybe as an outside pass rusher, like in a 3-4. I
Yep,
mean, I think that would be your best fit.
absolutely.
Um, so one of the things that happened recently was you were a part of the National Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. Not the huge, big one, but I mean, there are a lot of scouting combines that always happen, throughout the year. Walk me through that experience. I mean, you actually were probably one of the top players out there. But go ahead and just kind of walk me through that experience out there.
Well, believe it or not, that was my first time ever being at a camp or in front of coaches, scouts. In high school, I didn't really get that exposure because of the small school thing. So like I wasn't able to go to camps and kind of what is it? Sponsor myself. I wasn't getting out there. So it was definitely nervous before getting there because I didn't know what was gonna go on. But as soon as I got there, I felt home. I felt like I'm around athletes and we're competing. Who's best? Kind of gave me that track vibe where it's you versus the next person, and they're trying to get that job.
Yeah, I mean, some of the numbers that you were able to do out there were pretty decent. I mean, I know you're still working on things, but 35.5-inch vertical, 10 foot, 4.5-inch broad jump, and 7.13 cone. I mean, those are some pretty decent, numbers there. I know you're still trying to, help out some of the other things that you're doing. And there is also another combine that you plan to attend here shortly, right?
Right.
Cool. So hopefully that continues to help you. I mean, I do, and again, like being one of the top athletes out there, is something because you figure you're a D3 guy going out to this combine with guys that are at Power Five schools at the FBS level. So to be able to say that you're one of the top guys out there, I think is really, really cool.
Thank
Um,
you.
so um, let's go ahead and get talking into some football a little bit more. So, talk to me about you as a student of the game. You're in the film room. You're watching your opponents. Tell me maybe what you're watching and if that ever really played out in a game time situation.
Well, at Framingham State, they always had me as a defensive end, so I was always on the line. So my film was mostly watching my offensive tackle, the offensive line, what the quarterbacks and the running backs do in certain situations. I've always been a film rat. I love watching film. I'll bring some of my buddies on the team to watch film with me so we can all be on the same page. Um, I'm trying to think of a specific team that I would bring up, but I'm not sure. I watch so much film where it's kind of routine. I make sure that I watch the offensive linemen steps and what they do against the run or pass. Say he might be heavy-handed, he might be leaning on run, or he might be sitting back because he knows it's a pass. Um, the running back might give signs to his receivers, letting him know that he might come out for a bubble or a flat or anything little like that. I try to pay attention in my film sessions.
Gotcha. And what's been like your best moment out there as a football player? You want to just kind of talk to me about you and
Um,
maybe your best highlight?
my best football moment would probably be my sophomore year of college. I broke the single season sack record on the last game of that season. It was the record was 11.5, and I think that was my best season because not the whole conference didn't know me. So it's my sophomore year. Nobody really knows me, so they can't really game plan for me. And yeah, definitely breaking the sack record my sophomore year was fun and my best moment.
So that was 2017 then, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what was your final number? Was it like 12 or 12 and a
No,
half?
it was 11.5.
All
It
right,
was last week.
11.5. Cool, cool. Um, so one of my questions that I ask occasionally is, um, well, give some advice to your younger self. I mean, talk to me maybe about what you would tell a younger Josh, back in the day. I mean, obviously, a lot, moving forward, for like 4 or 5 years. I mean, what sort of advice would you give
I would definitely give him and tell him to trust the process. It's a long road with trying to play football and trying to be a professional. So don't think it's gonna happen in a day or a night. Definitely give myself a pat on my back for the work that I've done to get myself in this position. Um, be there for others and have fun, and just make sure that you know that nothing's as bad as it seems.
Right. Josh, also another thing that I have in my notes, which I think is really cool, is that back in your high school days, you're a really good, track athlete. You were able to run the 110-meter hurdles in 15.49 seconds,
Yep.
which I think is great. So, I mean, that definitely shows that you're a, fantastic athlete. Um, but let's just kind of continue a little bit further. Who are you like outside of an athlete? Talk to me a little bit about maybe what you do, outside of sports, maybe as a student. Talk to me just a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a family person. I have 5 siblings. I live with my mother. I'm the middle child. I have 2 older siblings and 3 younger. But I work at a nursing home. I definitely volunteer and make sure I'm there around them, talk to them, make sure they feel good. I internship at my gym for kids from 11 to 18 and kind of like mentor them and give them advice that I didn't have. I also coach a flag football team for youth. I think it's around 9 to 11 or maybe 9 to 12. And I really like that because I get to teach the game of football. And I make sure it's not all about winning, and it's really about learning the fundamentals of the game. But I'm a very simple person. I love working out. I love being an athlete. But other than that, I stay home. I spend quality time with my family, and I repeat it.
Great. So, I mean, obviously, really good athlete, but I mean, also a guy who's able and willing to, go out there in the community and really help out. I mean, obviously, with your job there at the nursing home, doing things like that internship, helping out kids, at the gym, as well as being a flag football coach. Those things are pretty cool. I really think that that's a great thing that you do. As we begin to wrap up a little bit, I mean, I do want to give you the floor and maybe allow you to, give some shout outs to people. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have helped you along the way, whether it's been family, friends, coaches, teammates. Who do you want to give some love to?
I would definitely want to give most of my love to my father and my mother, Obi Onujiogu and Mary McDonald. They've helped me through this road so long, and they've stayed by my side and calmed me down in certain situations and helped me get to where I'm at right now. And definitely my siblings, because I wouldn't be able to stay this composed and this calm without them.
Great. And is there any other player there at Framingham State that we need to keep an eye out on moving forward?
Um, Definitely keep an eye out for Joshua Smiley. He's my other defensive end. He's he's been there for with me for about 3 years. He transferred from uh from a D1. But yeah, he's very good. I would definitely keep an eye out for him.
Nice. Um, so next question really is just the why question. Even though it's corny and I usually get the same answers, I always try and give it to guys because I do feel like it's important. Tell me maybe why you play football, why you started, why you play now, and just your motivation.
But no, I don't think it's a corny question at all. I think it's a very important question to ask football players, because I feel like some get lost in the business of it. My why is I love football. I've always been in love with it since I was 5. My father put me in early. He came from a football life. My uncle came from a football life. It's always just been around me, and I formed a bond and a love for it. Like once I'm on that field, I feel most comfortable, and I feel like I can do anything I want, really, athletically, mentally. It's definitely a nice way to live my life with the love of football that I have.
Great. I mean, I do love that answer. I mean, yes, it is totally 100% important, that whole why, because I mean, you got to know why you do what you do. So I think it's
Absolutely.
great that how you put how you frame that up for everybody. Um, as we leave, I do want you to give your pitch. I mean, I know that again, you're probably not in this year's draft class. You were really looking more so at a 2022 NFL draft prospect. But I do want you to tell teams why they should really keep an eye out on you, why they should consider drafting you in the future. What kind of teammate would you be?
I will bring relentless effort to every practice, every game. I'm a very coachable player. Anything that you tell me to do, I will do it for you. And the you can rely on me. Best and believe that if you tell me that I messed up or do something this way, you'll have nothing come out of my mouth other than yes, coach. I believe in that. I believe in that the coach has the best interest of you, but I'll bring a great energy to the team. I get along with all my teammates, and I bring that love of the game every day because I love doing what I do.
Awesome. Well, Josh, this has been great. I mean, I really love being able to sit down with you and hear your story. I mean, I do know that you have a lot to offer teams. So my only thing is keep grinding, bud. I mean,
Thank you.
I know that you offer a lot to teams. I mean, heck, I mean, if you had a season this past year, I mean, who knows, man? Like you could be like very high on people's boards.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, we need you guys out on the field. I mean, we really want to, see some more football, this coming fall. And I really do wish you the best of luck. I mean, I feel like you could probably go out there and hopefully get like a 10 plus sack season. I want to see you beat your own record.
Absolutely.
That
Thank
would
you
be
so
an
much.
excellent thing to do.
I really
Um,
do appreciate it.
all right. Again, this is Joshua Onujiogu. Definitely check him out. Moving forward, defensive end linebacker out of Framingham State.
Thank you.